Canada is changing faster than many expected. New housing plans, stronger defense, lower immigration, tax cuts, and major talks with Donald Trump. In this video, we'll break down the biggest announcements from Prime Minister Mark Carney and what they could mean for every Canadian.
From day one, we have focused on our core missions: protecting our borders, our communities, and our way of life; transforming our economy by building our strength at home; increasing our independence by diversifying our partnerships abroad; and providing Canadians with a boost today and a bridge to a better tomorrow. Recognizing that the first job of government is to keep Canadians safe, we passed 6 laws to combat crime and give law enforcement the tools that they need. As of today, if someone tries to intimidate you in your community or prevent you from going to your place of worship, police officers will have the authority and the resources to arrest them.
Carney says public safety remains his government's top priority. He highlighted new laws targeting repeat violent offenders, online exploitation, and hate crimes, while announcing Canada's biggest military investment in decades.
Because of the Combating Hate Act. As of today, if a criminal commits a violent offense, it will be up to them to prove to the court why they can be trusted to be released on bail, because of the Bail and Sentencing Reform Act. As of today, if someone shares a fake sexualized image of you or your kids online, they can get up to 10 years in prison because of the Protecting Victims Act. We've also instituted the largest pay raise for the Canadian Armed Forces members in a generation, because their pay should reflect the weight of their responsibilities. Recruitment to the CAF is now the highest in 3 decades. We have met NATO's original 2% defense target 5 years early, and for the first time since the fall of the Berlin Wall. We're on track for NATO's new 3.5% of GDP in 2035 defense expenditure target, including through a new submarine fleet, the world's second largest fleet of icebreakers, and new aircraft, missile, and cyber defenses.
Housing continues to dominate Canadian politics. The government says more than 11,000 affordable homes have already been approved. GST has been removed on qualifying first-time homes, and provinces are cutting development fees.
Secondly, we are building our strength at home with major investments in affordable housing, community infrastructure, public transit, and nation-building energy and transportation corridors. In less than a year, Build Canada Homes has already committed to building more than 11,000 new affordable homes through 14 different partnerships, with 4,500 homes either already under construction or about to break ground within the next 3 months. We're reducing the cost of buying and building homes. We eliminated the GST on homes worth up to $1 million for first-time buyers, and we signed new agreements with Ontario and British Columbia to cut development charges by up to 50%. Nous avons lancé le fonds pour bâtir.
Canada is also trying to reduce dependence on the United States by expanding trade across Asia and Europe while protecting existing U.S. trade. Carney says Canada remains one of the world's safest places for investors.
To build a more resilient and independent Canada, we've secured more than 20 economic and security partnerships across 5 continents over the past year. Our existing free trade deals already provide access to 1.5 billion consumers. We're now on track to double that market this year with deals from India to ASEAN. Despite challenges, Canada maintains the best deal of any major U.S. trading partnership, with 85% of our trade remaining tariff-free. We're working with the United States and Mexico to modernize CUSMA to provide greater certainty for workers and businesses and to create lasting prosperity across the continent. We're in the process of becoming the world's alternative to China as a reliable supplier of critical minerals. We're a trusted partner in a world that's anything but. And this September, we'll convene the world's largest investors in Toronto for the first ever Canada Investment Summit. Our goal is to transform the Canadian economy into the strongest in the G7. That's a big task, but the early signs are encouraging. We've taken back control of immigration. Asylum claims are down by a third. Temporary foreign workers arrivals down by half. And international student arrivals down by 60%. We can now carefully rebuild a sustainable immigration system consistent with Canadian values. We have reinforced the strongest fiscal position in the G7 by cutting operating spending growth from over 8% a year to less than 2%, all while boosting our vital social programs. Housing costs and rental affordability are improving, with the rent-to-income ratio falling to its lowest level in over 6 years. Canada is now creating jobs at twice the rate of the United States. Our business investments are growing in machinery and equipment at double-digit rates. Non-U.S. exports are up sharply, and we're on track to double them over the next decade. Foreign direct investment in Canada is at its highest level in 2 decades, running at twice the rate of our nearest G7 peer. And we now rank as the most attractive country in the world for infrastructure investment.
One of the most interesting moments came when Carney revealed details about his recent phone conversation with President Donald Trump. The discussion covered NATO, Iran, Arctic security, and Canada's growing military commitments.
Well, first, the President called me yesterday. We had a long discussion with him and at times some of his senior officials, Secretary Hegseth and his Commander-in-Chief, on a range of issues, some related to NATO, some related to the situation in Iran and the broader Middle East, both current and structural issues. Is a very constructive conversation. There's things we're working on together. I think those are best left till they come to fruition. Let's be clear. Canada is pulling its weight now in NATO. There's more to do, without question, but we have moved to meet the 2% target, as you know. We already meet the 1.5% target for defense resilience, defense industrial. We have a track to getting overall 4% by the end of this decade. We have some major procurement decisions. We just made one on Global Eye surveillance. We have others coming up. Submarines is an obvious one. And we're building out our infrastructure in the Arctic, assuming full sovereignty in all senses of the word in the Arctic, and very importantly, working with other NATO allies in a more detailed cooperation. Is one of the things I raised yesterday. So with the Nordics, with the UK, with France, with Germany, in terms of the overall Arctic security. So to protect the Arctic, you need to protect the Baltics and on up. I think what we answer first, we answer to Canadians and protecting Canadians. We answer to our allies in terms of fulfilling our roles and protecting our allies. And I'll just end with this, which is that, and give you your follow-up, we are at the front lines in Latvia with Operation Reassurance, and we are one of the most important contributors to support of Ukraine, including security guarantees for Ukraine.
Reporters pressed Carney about negotiations with Washington after comments suggested Canada and the U.S. are still far from a trade agreement. Carney responded that good deals often appear impossible until they happen, but emphasized Canada won't sign a bad agreement.
Ambassador Hoekstra told CTV News on Tuesday that Canada and the U.S. aren't, quote, anywhere close in terms of a deal. You just spoke with the president yesterday. Do you agree?
What I have seen with the president is that you're not close to make a deal and then you make a deal. I've seen that in different cases. It doesn't mean the deals are good deals, but it means being prepared, having done the work, knowing what you want. So both things can be true.
The ambassador also said he believed that the next steps would really be at the president and prime ministerial level. I'm wondering if you agree with that. And also, I mean, you spoke a lot about your call being about the Middle East. How much did Kuzma play a role in your call?
We didn't discuss Kuzma yesterday. Look, ultimately, a breakthrough, if you will, on this will be at that level. We operate a little differently. We're very team oriented here in Canada, so it matters. Madame Charette, Monsieur, Dominic LeBlanc, Ambassador Wiseman, the provincial premiers feeding in, the advisory council that we have, discussions with a broad range of stakeholders. All of that feeds into our preparations for this, knowing what we want and what we don't. There'll come a point, there'll likely come a point where that possibility emerges. We also judge the possibility. I mean, we could sign a bad deal this afternoon, right? We could have signed a bad deal a year ago. We're not going to sign a bad deal. So it has to be a real deal.
So, do these announcements mark the beginning of a stronger Canada, or are they promises that still need to be proven? Let us know your thoughts in the comments. If you enjoyed this breakdown, don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn on notifications for more Canada and U.S. political news.